Okay, good afternoon everybody and welcome to Wembley Stadium for this unveiling of our new England senior men's head coach Thomas Tuchel, who is joined here by FA CEO Mark Bullingham. We'll shortly start with some opening remarks before we open up to a Q&A from the floor. But before we do that, just a few housekeeping rules. We're going to keep it to 2 questions per person maximum, please, and also use the microphone available and state the name and organisation you work for before you ask your questions. And at the end, we'll have a short section embargoed until 10:30 p.m. this evening. So I'd like to hand over to Mark Bullingham.
Great, thanks, Andy. This is a really exciting day for the English game. We've appointed one of the very best coaches in the world and one of the very best young English coaches as his number 2. Our aim is always to win a major tournament, and we believe Thomas gives us the best possible chance to do that at the next Men's World Cup. We had a clear recruitment plan in place before the Euros, and John McDermott and the team developed our ideal profile for an international coach and a shortlist if we needed it. After Gareth resigned, we executed that plan. We met and evaluated potential candidates. Thomas was absolutely outstanding, providing a really clear vision for the role and how he would work with our players to get the best out of them and to give us the best chance in the World Cup. We were delighted to sign contracts with Thomas last Tuesday, but wanted to wait for the international window to be over before we announced. We're also delighted that Ant is joining us as one of the most exciting young English coaches around. Before I pass to Thomas, I'd like to thank Lee Carsley for stepping into the role for 6 matches. He's handled himself really well, and I'm sure will continue to do so. Lee will manage the team for the November international window and then return to lead the under-21s, trying to defend their European Championship title. I would also like to thank Gareth and Steve. The fact that we had such a high level of interest in this role is testament to the foundations they laid over their 8 years with us. Thomas, would you like to say a few words?
Of course, thank you, Mark, and hello to everybody. I'm, of course, obviously very excited and honoured to be here today as a new head coach of England. I just had the chance to read a quote from Pelé in the building in Wembley, who said that Wembley is the heart, the capital, and the cathedral of football, and I think he was absolutely right. So I want to take the opportunity to thank the FA, especially Mark and John, for their trust, and I'm very excited to start this journey in January with you, with the staff at St. George's Park and at Wembley, and of course with a very special and exciting group of players to make our dream come true in America.
Well, Thomas.
Hi.
Congratulations. It's Rob Dawson from Sky Sports. Nice to see you. Look, you've had some huge jobs in football already.
Yeah.
Is this your biggest challenge? And with that in mind, would it be your biggest achievement if you led England to a major title?
I understood very quickly that it's a big job. I think it's always the job you're in is the biggest job that you don't get, and it does not make a lot of sense to compare. But it feels big, and it feels, like I said, like a privilege. It is very new because I come from club football, so the rhythm, the responsibility, the role is a new role, which is also very exciting. I was very open for that and liked the idea of it. Once Mark and John made clear to me that this job is about football, we never lost the momentum, and once I made a time frame up in my mind, from January to the World Cup, I felt already excited, and that it suited my passion and my strive to push this group of players and to be part of this federation with such a strong record in the last tournaments to push it over the line and to try to put a second star on the shirt.
Good luck. Mark, your statement was... Sorry, I didn't mean that the way Sam. It was a little bit flippant, that, wasn't it? I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Mark, your statement was unequivocal, really, in saying that your entire criteria, your primary criteria, was to appoint somebody that could deliver a major trophy. Is it an uncomfortable truth for you, though, the fact that Thomas isn't English?
So, Rob, we were always really clear that we wanted the very best person for the job, and we feel like we owe it to the players and the country to give them that support, that leadership in tournaments that will help to get them over the line and give us the best chance of winning a trophy in the Men's World Cup. So we feel we've done that. We feel delighted that Thomas has joined us.
Thomas, Dan Rowan, BBC. There'll be many England fans who are very excited about your arrival, given your vast experience, the trophies you've won, your pedigree. What would your message be, though, to those fans who would have preferred the England team to be managed by an English coach? And do you understand their position?
I'm sorry, I just have a German passport, but I can just tell them, and maybe all of these supporters also felt my passion for the English Premier League, my passion for the country, how I love to live here and how I love to work here. So my memories are on the highest level of that played a huge role. And hopefully I can convince them and show them and prove them that I'm proud to be the English manager. I will do everything to show respect to this role and to this country. And the target for the next 18 months is nothing else than the biggest one in world football, and everyone can be assured of, no matter what nationality my passport says.
And Mark, if I may ask, you say in your statement you interviewed several candidates. Can you shed any light, a bit more detail on that? For example, how many? Were any English? Was Lee Carsley ever a realistic possibility? Can you give us any more details about who else you spoke to?
Sure, Dan. As you'd understand, the whole process was confidential, and I understand at times that might have been frustrating for people, but we had to maintain that confidentiality for us, but also really more importantly for the candidates. So I'll say a few things, but I'll hold it at that. So we interviewed approximately 10 people, and we did interview some English candidates within that. As to anything further, you wouldn't expect me to divulge any details, really.
Thomas, Steve Scott from ITV News. Chelsea fans will know you very well. Other Premier League fans will know you well, but obviously England fans are a much bigger group than that. So for those who don't know you, what sort of person are you? Can you describe your personality?
My personality?
Your personality.
Well, maybe I try to describe my coaching personality, but I think it's pretty obvious. I'm very emotional, and I love I love what I'm doing. I'm passionate about football, and like we said before, this task and this role just brought the young me alive, and it brought back my teenage days, to get excited for such a big task, for the Three Lions, for playing matches at Wembley, for working with this group of players. So everyone can be assured that we will do it with passion and with emotions, and we will try to install values and principles and rules as quickly as possible to make the dream come true. First, we have to, of course, go through the qualification process to the World Cup, but it starts for us in January, and we will dive in completely.
Gareth Southgate developed a very specific culture within the